What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. Both recording from land for the first time in 10 days. I'm back, Casino. I am back to stop you doing solo shows where you spend 25 minutes of it talking about a Patriots-Giants game. Other than that, your solo show was
It wasn't just about Patriots Giants game. It was talking about the outcome of the AFC.
I have been listening to the show to get Casino's picks, and I fast forwarded literally 20 minutes, and I was like, he's still talking about the Patriots Giants.
That's what happens. Just go on a cruise. You know what? That you can just shove it up your butt, man, because the amount of times you go on Eagles rants, dude, I just sit back. All right. So you give me a little free reign there. All right.
It's true.
Plus, I wasn't expecting to do a solo show at all. Was not prepared for that.
No, but the solo show was good. And in those 2 weeks away, Casino, I have not only, when it comes to our picks, I've not only shortened the gap, I have actually jumped so far ahead of you now that you need to start playing the comeback kid, because as of this week, we have tonight's game the same, so it doesn't matter. I was up one game after last week. Now I am up by 4 games on you going into week 15.
That's okay. Take it swings. Take it swings.
And then none of our blowouts or best games or upsets or worst games, none of those hit. So this was all just straight picks, and Daddy came out on top. I am rejuvenated. I don't think I really got a tan, but kinda. I looked.
I don't know. You look red as normal.
Yeah, this light. Yeah. But we are here today to not only talk about the NFL, but we're actually here to talk about the first thing, which is college football, Casino, because there has been some college controversy when it comes to the playoffs, the 12 teams that are in the playoff bracket for this year. The 12 teams are, let's just go through them right here: James Madison, Oregon, Alabama, Oklahoma, Indiana, Tulane, Ole Miss, Texas Tech, Georgia, Miami, Texas A&M, Ohio State. So those are the, are those all of them? Yes, those are all of them. So the issue, Casino, that you and I actually had a text exchange about, and then I've seen a lot of people online talking about it, is the debate going into this selection was, well, who gets in over Miami or who gets in over Notre Dame? So it was either Notre Dame or Miami. The debate was, well, these two already played each other. Miami beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame obviously isn't in a conference. It doesn't have really a resume. It's all just record. So that was Casino's point. Casino's point was, well, it's record and not, strength of schedule and all that kind of stuff, which my point was, well, if it's between two teams like that are on the bubble and are going to be the last two teams to get in, why would you not go by what was the record when they played each other? So Casino's dealing with his children. That's why we're doing this early. But when it comes to this, I also would like to have a discussion about Alabama, who should probably not be in these playoffs, but I think you can make a case they deserve to be in it more than Notre Dame. But then with Notre Dame, it's also like, yeah, they had a good schedule this season. If we look at the final standings for everything, so Casino, make your case for why you think Notre Dame got screwed.
Well, I mean, I wasn't as up in arms as you think I was up in arms. I was just confused. I know Miami beat Notre Dame. I'm more a little angry that it's just because my grandpa, who's 93, really wanted to see Notre Dame go and win. I mean, they absolutely dominated after their slow start, which is rough, right?
Yeah.
And if these were late losses and down the season, then you can change, then you could easily convince me. But I mean, the fact that Alabama got in and they had 4 losses?
No, they had, let me look. Alabama Alabama has 3. They're 10-3.
Okay, and still they shouldn't have made it. But it's too big of a name not to have Alabama in there. I mean, Notre Dame is a huge name. It comes down to the Miami thing. I just think it's frustrating that Notre Dame didn't get in. I really, and I know that you're saying, and I know your point that who did they play? Who did they beat? Miami beat XYZ, but we'll talk about that unless you already did when I had to help the kids. But I guess I'm just more sad for my grandpa more than anything. But
honestly, I think it's one of those things where it's always been a cool thing that Notre Dame is independent and they're not in a conference, so they can kind of play everybody. But then the issue becomes, well, because they're an independent and not in a conference, they also can make it where they don't play anybody. So on a year where there's a lot of, and again, if you've listened to this show for any length of time, Casino and I are not Alabama fans. So I hate to be the guy defending Alabama, but I can at least look at Alabama's year and schedule and say, oh yeah, they have 3 of, the 5 best wins of the year in terms of who they played, where it was they beat Vandy when Vandy was really hot. They've already beat Georgia. And then there was another one on there.
I would only count Georgia. Vanderbilt, but
that was when Vandy was ranked. I mean, and Vandy still finished the season as what? They still...
Yeah, Tulane was ranked. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they're going to get... For Vandy to be ranked, that whoop-de-doo.
Vandy finished the season as 10-2. They finished as the same record as Notre Dame.
Yeah, okay. And UNLV, they finished, 10-3 or whatever. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But the difference is one plays in the SEC and one plays in the Mountain West.
I don't care. I don't care.
But this is where I think the issue, it was Mizzou. So Alabama played 3 weeks or 4 weeks in a row where they beat number 5 Georgia, number 16 Vandy, number 14 Mizzou, number 11 South Carolina. Now, yes, it is a bad look where you play the SEC championship game and then you get blown out 28-7 but again, it's against a team you've already beat. And again, I think my main issue when it comes to the college football, like, I agree with people, like the new playoff format we have. This is my issue with it. If we're going to do this type of playoff, right, which is similar to how the NFL and all the other football leagues that we've ever had have done playoffs, right, where it's just you put a bracket, blah, blah, blah. If we're going to do football playoffs where you have a bracket, why do we do, let's do an SEC championship game. Let's do a Big 12 championship game. Why do we still do the championship games where you're just the champion of your conference? Why does that matter? Who gives a flying,
Well, I mean, then get rid of conferences all in all.
But this is what I'm saying. You don't need it. It should just be who has the best record at the end of the season, like we do in all sports. In NFL, we don't go, Bills and New England, they're 1-2 at the end of the year. Let's have them play for the AFC East championship. It's like we've already, and again, in this scenario, it's like we already saw Alabama and Georgia play. So Alabama beat them the first time, Georgia beat them the second time.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, are you not excited to see that again, possibly?
No. Why would I want to see? Because again, I've already seen it twice. My whole thing is,
so was it good? Was it good football? Okay, so the Ohio State Indiana game that just happened, right? You don't want to see that? You don't want to see that again?
But see, this is my point. My point is we've already seen these matchups and we're already going to see them again. And both those teams, when it came to the championships, got in anyways. So what's the point of that game?
Then what's the point of conferences? We're just going to keep recircling that.
The point of conferences is to get into the playoffs. That's what I'm saying.
The point of to get into playoffs is just winning games. If it's just about a record and who you play, then just free for all. Schedule whoever you want to schedule. Try to boost up your schedule and the teams you're playing to give yourself a better chance to get to the playoffs. and just get rid of conferences all in all. If I play in a conference and I want to be the best of that conference, I want to play a championship game. I want to prove that. Because if it doesn't matter, like, oh, all right, well, we just played a whole bunch of games in our conference, the same teams that we play every year. Now we just go to the tournament or we don't.
Okay, but then by that logic, Alabama beat Georgia earlier in the season. So then Georgia beat Alabama at the end of the season in the championship game. Both of them got in the playoffs. So who's the better team?
We'll find out third time around.
But again, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
Boxing and UFC and all these things do it where they keep, if it's good, they're going to keep putting together those bouts. They're going to keep putting together those fights. I want to see this. I want to see it again. I am looking. I really hope it's an Ohio State, Indiana national championship, because that game was phenomenal.
Yeah, but again, that's not my issue with this. My issue with this is we have a weekend where it's all championship games, where it's Alabama and Georgia, Ohio State, Indiana. Those games don't matter because win or lose for either of those teams, they're all in.
Okay.
We know they would be all in going into that game. Alabama got the doors blown off them and they're still in.
Okay. Yeah. Then that's part of my okay, why they shouldn't have. But here's the thing. Why have conferences? Why have a conference championship? Why? Okay, I want to know, if you don't have a conference championship and you don't get approved that you're the best of that conference, why even have fucking conferences? Why?
Because again, the conferences would be this. Oh, Tulane finished at the top of the American Conference. They're in. Virginia finished at the top of the Atlantic Conference. They're in. Big 12, it's Texas Tech. Big 10, it's Indiana. Conference USA doesn't get a bid, or do they? No, I don't believe they do. And then it would be
part of the Power 5, but that's how they got it. That's how they got it.
Okay, Mountain West got it, so Boise State's in. SEC got it, so Georgia's in. Sun Belt, so James Madison.
No, but they don't have. They
won the conference. Why do I need to see another game where they prove they can win the conference? They've already done it all season. Why are we making the regular season irrelevant? Why are we making the regular season irrelevant? It's a real question.
We're going in circles on this. This is ridiculous, man. They have the Power 5 conferences set up to where one team gets in from the 5 power conference, or the Power 5 conferences, whatever it is, or Group 5. That's what I was looking for. Group 5, and then you have your bids from the championship, because it gives the teams in those power conferences, in the SEC, in the ACC, all those, it gives those teams a chance, right? Say they didn't have a great pre-conference play, right? But then they go into conference and they're able to do it, but they still have 4 losses or whatever. It makes it more interesting, because a team that normally probably wouldn't get in has still a fighting chance. That's why I love college basketball. They've got it right there, right? They've got it right there. That field is huge. I know to get into the dance, there's 68 teams now, but you win your conference, it gives people incentive to play hard for their conference and want to get to that conference championship to guarantee your spot, because Alabama, they lost, right?
Yeah.
They were on the chopping block. You want to win that conference championship. They were on the chopping block to not get in.
But then they still got in.
I mean, they still got in, but it was up for debate. That's why we're having this conversation. Notre Dame, Miami, and Alabama, those 3, they were on the chopping block. They were there to potentially not make it. They won their conference championship. Guess what? None of that would have mattered. They would have been in. They would have been in. So get rid of conferences, or just suck it up and let them do the playoffs how they want to do it.
But again, it has nothing to do with conferences, because I'm still saying the conference winners should go in. But again, we look at the NFL, they're trying to get their playoffs more similar to what the NFL has, right? Where they, instead of the NFL having 14, all of a sudden the college football has 12. So in the 14-1, we just base it on conference records if you win your conference, and then we pick 3 wildcard teams just based on overall record. So when it comes to college football, we even make it
It's 6,
simpler
5,
than
and 1. It's
yeah,
6
we
conference
even make it
championships, 5 at-large bids, and then 1 of the group 5.
we even make it simpler, which is just we go, okay, you got the conference champions, and then we're picking just the rest of the best teams. We think we have a ranking system of what we think they are ranked based on what they've done this entire season. So what I'm saying is, why do we need an SEC championship, a Big 12 championship, all these championship games, if those are collectively the best 12 teams in the country, which
But it's
usually
not
they are.
always going to work out that way.
Exactly. So why do we need championship games? Because it's sometimes you're going to get Ohio State, who's undefeated, playing a team that's 7-5. Like,
And
why
guess
do
what?
we
If that
need that
7 and
last
5
game?
team, if that 7 and 5 fucking team
They're
wins,
not
guess
getting
what?
in.
They would if they won the championship.
But I'm saying, why would that team get in if they've won one game? And what I'm saying is it completely negates the regular season. You're the one saying wins matter. So you just said right there, if they won one game after an entire season, it wouldn't.
No, I said it's important to have the championships because there's a possibility that those teams could win. It's something to fight for the teams that could possibly get in.
I guess I just don't understand your point. I don't
understand your point.
It's what is it? But again, with the playoffs,
because you're saying why have them when this team and this team play each other and they both make it anyway?
Yeah,
because Alabama is proof that came very close to not making it because they didn't win their conference and they were on the chopping block. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. Where I say 2 teams, I know that Alabama got in with 3 wins, but 2 teams get to a conference championship and they're both got 2 losses or maybe 2 and 3. And guess what? If that 3-win team or that 3-loss team, they win that conference championship, guess what? They lock it in. They lose, they're out. They're out. It's important. It's important.
But see, this is also what I don't like, where it's the 3 best teams in the SEC were Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas, and then Alabama was 4th, Texas was 5th, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt were 10-2. So all those teams right there, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt had the same amount of wins as Alabama. Ole Miss and Texas Texas A&M had 2 more wins had 1 more win than Alabama. Ole Miss and Texas are ahead of Alabama in the SEC. They got to sit out. They're automatically in. Alabama gets blown out in the championship game, still in. So again, the point of a championship game where you're playing the best team in the conference by record, which is Georgia, against the 4th team in that same division and blowing out that 4th team, and then that team still gets in. Well, then what the hell was the point of all this? Everybody ahead of them in the SEC still got in. Alabama gets
because
blown
some
out,
would say that
gets
Alabama shouldn't have deserved to get there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if them winning or losing didn't matter if they were going to get in there, because again, the name Alabama guarantees they're in there. The SEC is looked at as this complete, oh my God, it's the SEC. We have to put as many teams from the SEC as we can put in there.
And then that's why it's a flawed situation. That's why it's all flawed. That's why college football in a whole is a joke. And the NFL's got it right. College basketball's got it right. College football, they're still trying to figure it out. It's a joke. Yeah.
Well, and then it's like, well, Notre Dame's out and Tulane and James Madison are in. And then it's like,
because they're trying to make it fair to the smaller conferences.
Yeah, but why?
Then call up the committee and ask them.
Well, that's the thing. The committee never has any answers.
They're about to expand it even further. I mean, eventually, just have it a bracket style. Go 64 teams. And do it NCAA basketball style.
Well, see, but that's also the
program.
That's also the issue with it being football is they just can't play as many games as they can with basketball. So then it becomes, how much do you expand it? How many games do you make them play? Like, also this
And
whole,
that's why the college football is ridiculous. That's why I don't watch it.
well, also
Because none
this
of it
whole
mattered.
thing.
It used to not matter anyway. But like you could go undefeated and still not make the championship game because when they had it, it was just the pick to see who goes, and it didn't matter. And
Well,
now it
also
gives teams
this
fighting chances.
the season for college football ended December 6th. The next college football game that actually matters, because again, I've always been against bowl games. Who cares who wins the rodeo open challenge presented by Bush's Baked
You
Beans?
don't care. The players care.
No.
The
Again,
players that will not make it pro, the players that will not make it pro, the players that will not make it pro that have been playing Pee Wee all the way up till college, it matters to them. It's their last ride. It is the way they want to go out. They care. They want to win. You put championship on whatever. I play indoor soccer. It's dumb. It's a rec league, and all of a sudden they go, "This is the championship game. This is the playoffs." Guess what? We want to fucking win it because they put the word championship on it. All right. And so it's going to matter. It matters to the players that have played the sport their whole life, that worked hard their whole life. I mean, that's special to them, man. Because
as a team,
they're not going to play football anymore in their life, and they want to go out and win something that matters. They want to win a trophy.
As a team, we've decided to withdraw our name from consideration for a bowl game following the 2025 season. We appreciate all the support from our families and friends.
Yeah, because they're bitter, and I don't like it. I honestly don't like this.
And we're hoping to bring the 12th national title to South Bend in 2026, 2025 Notre Dame football team. So that's the statement Notre Dame released the second after they were not put in the college football playoff. So again, the bowl games matter to.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, not every single player is behind that.
Well,
they say we as a team. Bullshit, we as a team. I guarantee you there's players that are like, fuck you, I want to go and play. We worked hard. I want to go and win something. Let's go. Especially in an independent football team, that's not in a conference, that didn't get to play a championship game. They want to go play a bowl game. I'm sure there is so many players that want. So I hope that there's players that come out and say, "Nah, I wanted to play." So it's a bitch slap across the face to Notre Dame, because that is so dumb that they, as a team, no, maybe there was a majority, but I guarantee you they were going to do it regardless. That organization, that athletic department was like, "Nope, we're not doing it. We got snubbed. Fuck them." Anyway, we've talked 24 minutes on this stupid college football shit. And I only have a half hour left before we got to get out of here. So,
all right, last thing in college football. Who do you think wins it?
Indiana.
I think so too.
Watching Indiana go against Ohio State, where Ohio State has like 11 NFL starters as of today, especially on defense, and Indiana goes out there and upsets them. I mean, they didn't play the cleanest football, but they grinded. That's what they've been doing all year. They've been battle tested. They've been doing comeback victories. Hell, that Penn State game was just insane. Two of the greatest catches I've seen in college football in a long time, with the tight end on the sideline, and then that goal line catch back of the end zone was just phenomenal. So, yeah, Indiana, they proved what they needed to prove to me, and they took down Ohio State. I mean, if Ohio State wins that, I'm not going to be shocked, but I do think Indiana can do it because they've done it once. Now they know. Yeah, sorry. Now they know that they can do it.
The worst thing, in my opinion, that could happen to college football is it's Miami, Ohio State, and then Alabama, Indiana, and Miami and Alabama both win those. Because then it could happen. But
then it happens, and then Oregon wins the whole thing.
Best thing that could happen is Tulane or James Madison wins it all. But again, college football playoffs, what a mess. But again, I've already seen people being like, we should go back to the BCS. If the college football playoffs is this messed up, the BCS was a billion times worse. Because again, there was that 10-year period where we just got Alabama in every every game. And then remember the year it was Alabama and LSU and the game was like 9-6 and it was the worst game you'd ever seen. Ugh. All right. Now, Casino, that we have talked about college football and solved nothing, it is time to get to the NFL. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am now up on Casino by 3. So it is 116 to 112. Or
All
no,
right.
113 to 112. But I haven't added up this week's. This week I beat him by 3. Great week. Also, this guy's name, DJ, I don't know how to say that, says yo, WSO. I'm old. I don't know what WSO means. And then he says, yo, this is interesting. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then this guy says IR. Again, thank you for commenting.
You're on injury reserve. I'm sorry, man.
I mean, it feels like most of the league is. So let's talk.
Once you get our age, you always feel like you're on injury reserve. The reason that we have to cut this we're doing an early show today is I actually have to go to the doctor for something. I'm like, I'm old, mid-30s.
And as always, my back hurts. So let's get into
that's really funny. I have a friend who just sent me a picture from when we went to NFR, and she was like, that was 17 years ago. We've known each other for 2 decades, for 20 years. And I'm like, yeah, I know. My back reminds me of that every day.
Yeah. What is it? When talking about the NFL, we have to start with Sunday night's game. Texans win 20-10 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Both Casino and I picked the Texans in this game. We thought this would be the final nail in the Chiefs' coffin. And for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid Chief era, the Chiefs are almost guaranteed to miss the playoffs. We always like to do this, especially on a Monday, where we look at the playoff picture and look at the percentage. After losing last night's game, Casino, would you like to take a guess at what currently the Chiefs' playoff probability is?
11%.
Very close. 15%.
Oh, it was 11 to 12% what I saw online last night.
I mean, it feels 15% still seems high. But again, if we need to find out what's going on with Daniel Jones, because I do think there is still a scenario where without Daniel Jones, the Colts kind of implode and the Chiefs sneak in there. And
so the Colts will implode. The Colts will implode. That's fine. However, Texans will move into that spot.
It is reported that Colts quarterback Daniel Jones is out for the season with a torn Achilles.
Yep. Torn Achilles. And he shouldn't have been playing anyway with the fractured fibula. But anyway, he's out, right? And yes, the Colts don't have a tie break on Chiefs. Chiefs have it over the Colts, right? For whatever reasons, et cetera, et cetera. But
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It doesn't matter, because now the Texans are just going to move into where the Colts were if the Colts implode, which I'm expecting them to, right? Their remaining schedule, they have, if I recall right, it's Seahawks, it's Jaguars, it's there's 2 other teams that I know that they're going to lose to.
But see, I was getting this messed up and thinking the Colts were in that last spot when really it's the Texans and the Chargers, because at this point,
they're only for me, the only way the Chiefs can get in is if they overtake the Chargers. If they overtake the Chargers, that's their way in. So I am going to be cheering my ass off tonight for the Chargers, because if the Chargers go up again, it's done. It's done. Because essentially right now with the tie breaks, outside of the Chargers, because they still get to play the Chiefs one more time, the Chiefs would have to win out. I mean, they have to win out regardless. They have to win out, and in doing so, they would beat the Chargers on that next go around. But they would have to hope for any of those other wild card teams that are not the Chargers to lose out, or they have to hope the Chargers lose one more.
Yeah, well, they also play the Chargers, and tonight the Chargers, if they lose, their playoff probability drops to 50%. If they win, it jumps to 74%. So again, as a Chiefs hater, I would love to see the Chargers get in the playoffs, but I would also, as an Eagles fan, the Eagles game against the Chargers tonight, this is the one where if they lose this one, I'm officially out. If they lose to the Chargers tonight, officially done with the Eagles as a Super Bowl contender, as a team that's going to do anything in the playoffs this year. I'm out on them. And then if you look in the NFC, I do think that, so with the Cowboys losing to the Lions, the Cowboys now have a 6% playoff probability, but the Lions have a 53% probability, with the Panthers sandwiching between them at a 30% probability. If
Which
I'm
is nuts.
looking, that will, yeah. If I'm
Because
looking,
the Panthers are going to win that division, because I have no faith after watching that Bucks game. I have no faith in the Bucks, and the Panthers are feisty as hell. They just the Panthers just beat the Rams, right? Great win
yes.
for them. Great win for them. And the Bucks, I can't trust them. I think the Panthers are going to swing in and get that 4th seed.
Well, what they still play each other 2 times? Isn't that? I don't think they've played each other this year at all. Yeah,
I
so
believe they played each other once, and
no, they have not.
Then my coworker who's a Panthers fan, she's an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell her that.
So the Panthers' remaining schedule is they play the Saints next weekend, then they play the Bucks, then they play the Seahawks, then they play the Bucks again. So the last 3 games,
it's going to be great.
Again, I don't know why NFL scheduling does this division thing where they play.
Well,
again, there's 3 other teams. Why are you scheduling?
Why?
You
It's
playing
because
the same team?
it's because it's going to see who wins the division at the end of the season. And I mean, this last weekend was great. You had Steelers Ravens to see who goes ahead in that division. You had Colts Jags to see who goes ahead in that division, and you also had Bears Packers to see who goes ahead in that division. That was phenomenal. That was a phenomenal weekend where a lot mattered. And then these teams still get to play each other again, right? So that it's going to be great. I love it.
Honestly, looking at the NFC, the AFC, I would be fine with this assortment of teams right here, especially with the Chiefs and Ravens and Bengals all being out of it. It's new blood, all that kind of stuff. When it comes to the NFC, can we get the Bucks and the 49ers out of there? I know the 49ers are like a lock to make it, but would anybody rather see this 49ers team over this Lions and Panthers team? Who? Unless, again, put your bias aside. If you're a 49ers fan, of course you want to see your team in the playoffs. If you're a football fan, wouldn't you rather see Panthers, Lions, and Bears as, the 3 wild card teams instead of 49ers just there as, I don't even know. Again, 49ers are 9-4. Tell me the good win on their schedule. Tell me the fun game they've had.
The 49ers fan that always comes into my work, he's like, well, their division is so tough, man. We get to play the Rams and the Seahawks and everybody in the Cardinals that were pretty feisty. And I'm like, all right. Cool.
Now, yes, the 49ers beat the Panthers on that Monday night game, but other than that, it's just like the Rams killed them. They got killed by the Texans. They got killed by the Bucks. They beat the Rams in overtime at the beginning of the season by 3. Jaguars beat them.
What's crazy is Cincinnati at 4-9 are still not mathematically out of it.
I know. Well, they have, what is it? Let's see. Oh, dang it. I just lost because
Pittsburgh's winning that division at 7-6. Pittsburgh's going to win that division at 9-8. And they're going to, and Tomlin is going to get another above 500 victory. And it's time for him to go. I like him. I like him as a person. I think he's always done well at wrangling big personality players. I mean, because he's kept Rodgers and Metcalf and, pretty quiet, which is impressive.
Except when Rodgers is at the podium. Except for that.
Rodgers is just an idiot. Because Tomlin can't be there. I mean, he just needs to stand in the back of the room with those scary ass eyes that he does. Those soulless eyes. He's scary. And I know we've talked about it before, but the death match between you got Vrabel, Vrabel, Dan Campbell, and then you're like, that's it. And I was like, no, Tomlin. Have you seen those eyes? He's gonna kill somebody.
So let's as far as the pin in the Chiefs Texans thing, what I think the discussion I want to have with you, Casino, as a Patriots fan,
Mhm.
you and I never elevated Patrick Mahomes to the GOAT conversation for
No.
quarterback of all time. There
Yep.
were people after his third Super Bowl already doing it, and it was just like, he doesn't even have more Super Bowls than guys like Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw, like those kind of guys.
When we did that, we put him at 5, I think. I think you and I had put him at 5 of the greatest of all time, but that's great for his early career.
Yeah.
He has
And
so
again,
like
it's
he
to
has so
be
much
top
more.
5 by age 30 in the NFL is a feat upon itself. Like, that's not disrespectful. It's
No.
just, it was insane that people were like, he's the best quarterback we've ever seen. And
He's
it's just
got
like,
he's
he's
got
played
at
for
least
4
10
years.
he's got at least 10 more years. At least barring injury. He's got
Yeah.
at least 10 more years in the league, and you're sitting at the 5th best quarterback of all time. You're
Yeah.
good. You're good. You're good. You're just
But
not the GOAT.
now, again, much like the LeBron argument, which is everybody says LeBron's the GOAT. And then your counter is, well, he only won 4 championships. And then the counter to that is, yeah, but he went to so many and he played for 23 years. The longer LeBron plays, the less impressive him only winning 4 championships looks like. He literally has almost gone 2 decades without winning a championship if you just put it where he's won 4 in 24 years, right? So that's a separate subject. The thing that has never happened, that I can't remember happening, maybe you can off the top of your head, I have never remembered the undisputed best quarterback in the league in his prime missing the playoffs again as the best quarterback in the league at his prime. When has that ever happened? Like,
I
again,
mean,
barring injury and stuff like that.
I
Like, they're
mean,
playing a full season.
Tom Brady's been he lost the division once, right? In that big old stretch, or no, a couple times. But there was one where he got bounced out in multiple years where he got bounced out early, first rounds of playoffs. But guess what? He still made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I'm worried about this team moving forward because Andy Reid's almost done. The security blanket with Travis Kelce is retiring. Like, Mahomes is great. We know that. He can scramble, he can make plays out of nothing. His vision, his throwing, like he checks all the boxes. But you still have to have football's a team sport. You have to have a good coach. You have to have a good system. You have to be able to have a good defense to complement your offense, right? I'm worried for the Chiefs moving forward. I'm not going to write them off because there was a decade where the Patriots didn't go win a Super Bowl. They didn't win it, right? But I am worried that when Andy Reid goes, this great offensive mind, that this team is going to go downhill pretty quick. They will always be in contention to make the playoffs because you still have Patrick Mahomes. If you have one of the top 5, 6 quarterbacks to ever play the game, guess what? You have a shot to make the playoffs every year. I don't care how bad your team is. You're going to make it happen. You're going to be able to do it.
I guess my whole
I'm
thing
worried.
is, what is it? I guess my whole thing is with the Chiefs. Again, you said Travis Kelce, he has legitimately cost them 2 games this season. Last night, he had the ball that hit him right in the hands that pops off and is an interception that sealed the game. He had the interception at the drop that turned into an interception in the Eagles game that cost that one, and the Texans one legitimately cost them the game because the Texans could just kneel out the clock. They were done. The Eagles, again, that happened in the end zone, so it took away a touchdown. So Travis Kelce, from all intents and purposes, looks done, right? I think he's even said after the season he's done. He kind of looks
did you
like
see him
it
on the
already.
sideline after he dropped that ball last night?
Yeah, he just looks done. And again, why wouldn't he be? He's got all the money in the world. He's going in the Hall of Fame. He's going to marry one of the most famous people in the world. He's got one of the best podcasts in the world. It's not a sports podcast, obviously, because we're the only one. But
yeah, they just talk
Spotify
about life and shit.
Spotify released their top 10. They're like a top 5 podcasts in the world in terms of downloads. Quality, no. Downloads, yes. But Kelsey can retire. He's done. As far as Patrick Mahomes goes, he is going to miss the playoffs with a top 10 in total defense, a top 5 offensive line, a top 15 wide receiver in terms of Rashid Rice, a top, I mean, Kelsey we think is washed in terms of stats and everything. He's still top 5 in the league in tight ends in terms of receptions, yards, touchdowns, all that kind of stuff. So how much of this do you think impacts or hurts Mahomes' legacy? Because again, last night in a basically playoff game, win or go home, he throws 3 interceptions and just looks awful.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that was bad. A win or go home, essentially. They're not mathematically out of it.
At home.
They have not looked good at home. That's why I took the Texans. It was an easy call. That pass rush didn't do as much as I thought. Like, they were still trying to stay in the game, but and the defense really got to CJ Stroud. But I was just like, man, I can't pick the Chiefs, even though they're at home. I can't do it. I was almost at the point of last night. There was a point where I was thinking, but I didn't want the Chiefs in the playoffs, where I was like, do I want them to win? Because I'd much rather play this easy cupcake team this year.
Yeah. No, and then you look at, again, Mahomes last night, 14 for 33, 160 yards, 42% completion percentage. Hi, Casinos Dogs. What is it? And then you say 19.8 passer rating. It just becomes one of those things where I've never in my football watching years, it's, for what, going on 20 plus years at this point, looking at all the history of the stuff I missed before I started watching football, I never remembered there being a quarterback that was widely regarded as, again, the best quarterback in the league, maybe the best quarterback of all time, missing the playoffs with a top 10 defense in his prime. It's never happened. And again, people say, oh, well, he doesn't have weapons. He doesn't have weapons. Most of the years the Patriots were good, they never had weapons. When they had all the weapons, they went undefeated during the regular season. It's just, again, then you also throw in, oh, yeah, Mahomes lost. Well, he lost those 2 Super Bowls. And then people say, yeah, but their O-line was bad. And it's like, okay, but I thought he was the best quarterback of all time. So the second one of his offensive linemen is out, you just throw your hands up and you just go, well, the best quarterback of all time can't win like this. One of his linemen's gone. And it's just like, what? When has that ever been an argument for any other player in this league where it's like, well, they're missing one player, so what, you expect it not to be a blowout? And it's just like, yeah, if that one player isn't their quarterback, like, I know left and right tackles and guards and centers are important, but just one of those pieces missing, and all of a sudden it goes from you being the best team in the AFC all year to now you're getting blown out against a team everybody picked you to blow them out. Just weird narrative, weird discussions when it comes to what I feel like this Chiefs legacy will be, what Patrick Mahomes' legacy will be. Again, we've never seen a dynasty where, oh yeah, they won 3 Super Bowls, they went to 5. Then of course that year where they just missed the playoffs where everybody was healthy, and then they went back to 5 Super Bowls. It was like, wait, what happened that one year? It's like somebody got injured, like that year where Brady just missed the whole season. It's like, no, everybody's healthy. They lost to every good team they played. You're just like, what? It's just so weird. Casino mentioned it. Let's move to the other game I wanted to really talk about, which was Steelers Ravens. And much like the Patrick Mahomes conversation, this one is centered on not Rodgers, but Lamar Jackson. What happened to Lamar Jackson? Because now you watch him. Yesterday, he had 19 of 35, 219, 54% completion percentage, 71 quarterback rating, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He also rushed 7 times for 43 yards on a touchdown. There was a point where the Baltimore Ravens were 1-5, and then they rattled off all those wins, and they feel like they had their defense figured out. And then Lamar Jackson was just one of those. It was one of those situations where, oh, maybe Lamar Jackson, he's just come back from an injury, shaking the rust off. When he starts turning it back on, they're going to be elite. And then it was like he just never turned it back
Yeah.
on.
I almost wanted the Ravens to make the playoffs now too because of the same thing.
Well, also they're just not the Bengals have a 1% chance to make the playoffs. The Ravens are still at 32. The Steelers are at 67. So there's still a chance that the Ravens could win this division. I think after what we've seen since Lamar has come back, he's not going to win this division. But what we talk so much about Patrick Mahomes, what the hell happened to Lamar Jackson? It's got to be injury, right? He's got to be more banged up than he's letting on.
Yeah, that and just the mentality, man. I mean, we saw him have a hard time, the phrase "get the monkey off your back" to when he got into the playoffs, and he finally got a couple playoff wins, but he still wasn't able to go get a Super Bowl. And everybody was like, "Oh, well, it was a mental block thing for him." And now I think it's worse than ever. Because I think he's finally realizing that he's not going to probably win a Super Bowl.
Well, also, we know he's always struggled against the Steelers. He's only 3-6 against them in his career. So whatever
in the games that really matter, he doesn't perform like he needs to.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things where I hate, again, this is why you have to give Dak Prescott credit, and I hate it so much, where it's like when you have that much of a stranglehold on your division in terms of beating all the other teams, when we see that, it's like, how are you just not always like in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs, all that kind of stuff? So when it comes to the Steelers, you're that much better than the Ravens all the time, and you still miss the playoffs half the time. With the Cowboys, he's that much, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are that good against the NFC East, and they're never in the playoffs. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. But when it comes to Lamar Jackson, he's always struggled against the Steelers. Steelers are pretty much locked up that division. I think I agree. I think they win that division with a 9-8 record. They win probably 2 of their last 4, lose 2 of them. So they go 2-2 and just get blown out in the first round of the playoffs. But when it comes to the Ravens, like, is it time for, we think it's time for Mike Tomlin to go. Is it time for Harbaugh to get out of there and we kind of see what
new blood, see something else?
Yeah, just get a new shakeup. But again, if you're the Ravens, you're like, we have this core, we have this head coach, we have Lamar Jackson. Like, do we want to blow it up in the middle of somebody's prime? Because again, that's the thing with the Chiefs, that's the thing with the Bills, that's even the thing with the Bengals, where it's like, quarterback is the hardest thing to find. We have potentially the best quarterback in the league.
You can't get rid of the quarterback. And that's coaches and everything, like, changing the systems are going to be a little easier than, I know that sounds crazy. It's not going to be easy to do, but trying to find a quarterback, man, as a Patriots fan, I go to bed happy every single night now. Like, even if he's not an all-time great, guess what? We got a franchiser. Like, we got a franchise quarterback. So that's nice. So I only got a few minutes left here before I got to get going. And I also just, my son got a little quiet. My daughter came in, was like, "Dad, come to my room." Went in there. He grabbed one of the markers, and it's all over the wall. Luckily, it was just a dry erase marker, so it should come off pretty easily. But
nice.
It's her whole wall. It's great.
Then, since I only got you for a couple more minutes, let's talk about the last game that I want to really talk about with you, Casino, which was the Chicago Bears losing 21-28 against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. This, I think, between this and the Bengals-Bills game, was probably my 2 favorite games of the day. This was a good one. Thoughts on both these teams after this game?
I think Green Bay won because this was a must-win rivalry game to win that division. I still am not 100% sold on Green Bay. Their defense was showing up a little bit better. But again, that's against a Bears offense that I'm not 100% sold on Caleb Williams. I know that the Ben Johnson Caleb thing has been working a little better, right? It's been better. And they've been squeaking out games, but I'm not surprised of this outcome. I wanted the Bears to do it. I thought their defense was going to be able to get it done. Especially after they got that first pick, I was like, yeah, let's go. Like, early on, I thought it was taken care of. But yeah, Jordan Love, he came out, he played good. He played like he needed to. So this game was really fun to watch. The Bears, they're not out of it yet, especially, let's see, who do they have left? The Bears have the Browns, they play Packers again, Niners, and Lions. I'd much rather take that schedule than what the Packers have. Obviously, the Bears have to beat the Packers again, or beat the Packers their next time around. Let me see here. Somebody just messaged me. But the Packers, they got the Broncos, they got the Ravens, and the Vikings. I know I'd much rather have the Packers schedule. They're fine. Packers are going to win this division. It's over. I guess I was getting them mixed up, but yeah, that was a must win for the Bears. But guess what? You're going to make the playoffs. You're exceeding your expectations this year. Good for them. Good on them. But I think after that performance last night, I think it solidifies, my Mike Vrabel as coach of the year. But just saying, just throwing that out there.
Also, when you watch the Bears, and again, this is coming from Eagles fan that watched the Bears absolutely destroy my Eagles team. But the thing that happened in that Eagles game was the Eagles were being completely dominated by the Bears, and they went into halftime down by 3. So it was like the Bears had rushed for almost 300 yards, and at no point in that game was there a chance where I was just like, oh, the Eagles can't come back, it's out of their grasp. Like, it just never happened until the end of it, where I was just like, oh yeah, they just lost. So when you watch this Bears team, and again, the Packers, I think you and I are more down on than everybody else. I just don't trust Jordan Love. I trust him 1,000 times more than I trust Caleb Williams. You watch Caleb Williams play quarterback, and you're just like, I watch, especially during that Eagles game, and especially during this game, he will hit the most amazing throw you've ever seen, where the defender is in perfect position to break it up, somehow gets into the Bears wide receiver's hands, and you're just like, wow, what a great throw. And then the next 3 throws Caleb Williams does, he'll overthrow a wide open guy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen a quarterback that is 100% accurate when his wide receiver is 100% covered. And then he's like a 50-50 shot of if he's going to hit some guy wide open.
I think it's that thing. It's like he gets nervous, right? It's like that.
I don't know what it is. It's so weird.
Oh man, he's open. He's open.
And even yesterday, 54% completion percentage. He throws the ball away a lot, but a lot of those are also just missing his guys wide open, like not even close, not drops. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Before we're getting on out of here, last couple things I want to talk about. Can't believe the Commanders got shut out. That was one.
Not only shut out, blown out. 31-0 against 9.
Yeah,
the whole team should retire after that. That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
that's
I think the Colts game could have been a little more interesting with the Jags, is if Daniel Jones didn't get injured, but he got injured. Jags, I think they're for real, man. I think they're for real. Let's see what Trevor Lawrence can do in the playoffs. That's kind of what I'm excited to see. Also, Seahawks. The Falcons didn't get to Sam Darnold like I thought he would. He still played pretty good. Hopefully, that's a sign for him. I know you don't want to see it, but hopefully that's a sign for the Seahawks to get into the playoffs and actually do something, because Sam Darnold might be able to handle that pressure.
No, I like Sam Darnold.
No, again, I mean, like the pass rush. Handle the pass rush.
Oh, yeah.
But then I thought the Raiders had a chance. I mean, they didn't. I know that they were going to destroy the entire game, but I was just clinging on to hope as much as I could.
Also, Kenny Pickett looks 1,000 times better than Geno Smith. Like, a full 1,000% a better quarterback right now in their careers than Geno Smith. Not even close.
And I think Stafford has finally just fully wrapped up that MVP after that game.
I heard you on your solo show giving that MVP to your guy, and then I was
no, I said it went back. It went back to May. And I was just like, let's see what Stafford does the remainder, of the season. Let's see what he does next game. And he just comes out and absolutely just starts throwing darts. 3 touchdowns, 281, 22 for 31. He looks good.
What team did he do that against, Casino?
He did against the Cardinals.
Oh, that's so weird. The Cardinals currently 3-10. But again, everybody, Gannon is such a good head coach. Everybody was telling me that. I was just bitter because he used to be a defensive coordinator for the Eagles and he was actually really good. Yeah. No, I mean, I guess he was a really good coach unless you watch the games he coaches. Then, you would have the opposite of that take. But I'll never get over that. Just people being like, no, he's actually a really good head coach. He's actually a really good coach in general. Then it's like, really? Give me one piece of example of that ever being true. We'll just watch this season. And now they're 3-10. Again, 3-10 with a better starting quarterback than their regular starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, it angers me so much. Also, but yeah, Stafford.
Time for me to get out of here.
MVP now.
I need to go try to clean off a whole bunch of marker out of my kid's room. Luckily, again, it's dry erase marker, so it should come off pretty easily.
You know what? I don't think the rest of the stuff we can talk about Wednesday. There's nothing really prescient here. We can talk about the rest on Wednesday when we do our picks.
Let's talk about the World Cup draw. That'd be fun.
With that Casino's Corner returning.
Yeah. World Cup coming around this coming year. Yeah, definitely.
There we go. And then also last thing before we sign out of here, shout out Shedeur Sanders. That game was phenomenal. And I thought it was a conspiracy theory. I 100% believe his head coach hates him. After he scored that touchdown for the 2-point conversion, or on that 4th down, he went over to the sidelines. His coach stood about 10 yards away from him and never said anything. On the 4th and 3rd play to win the game,
that's also just the Browns. So I mean, and they also still lost to the Titans, and they still also lost to the Titans. So
yeah, but Shedeur Sanders, 23 for 42, 364, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That game was phenomenal, and he had a fantastic game.
He played Tennessee.
I know, but still, that was good.
He played Tennessee.
Good. But he played Tennessee on the Browns with the number 1 defense that gave up 31 points to the Tennessee Titans.
I mean, that's a fair point. I also want to point out he played the Titans. All right, and with that, I gotta go.
Well, with that, we're out of here. This has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. We'll see you Wednesday. Sorry. Adios.